and head in one vertical line. Closing the eyes gently with the body totally relaxed. Deep inhale and exhale. While exhaling, we are going to chant Om 3 times. Then Gayatri Mantra in the form of bhajan. Then we'll proceed to the yaj of today. Om Bhurbhuvah Svah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat तूने हमें उत्पन्न किया पालन कर रहा है तो तुझसे ही पाते प्राण हम दुखियों के कष्ट हरता है तो तेरा महान तेज है छाया हुआ सभी स्थान सृष्टि की वास्तु वास्तु में तू हो रहा है विद्यमान तेरा ही धरते ध्यान हम मांगते तेरी दया ईश्वर हमारी बुद्धि को श्रेष्ठ मार्ग पर चला ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. Join the palms together, rub them gently, cover the eyes and opening the eyes slowly below the palms, transferring the energy to the facial muscles. Om Namaste and welcome to everybody. To this yaj of today, the weekly services by the Hindu Center of Atlanta. Atheshwara Stuti Prathna Upasna Prakaranam. Om Vishmani Deva Savitar Duritani Parasava Yad Bhadram Tanna Asava Om Hiranyagarbha Samavartatagre Bhutasya Jatah Patirekāsit सदाधार पृथिवीं द्यामुते मां कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम ॐ य आत्मदा बलदा यस्य विश्व उपासते प्रशिशं यस्य देवा यस्य छायामृतं यस्य मृत्यो कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम ॐ यः प्राणतो निमिषतो महित्वैकइद्राजा जगतो बभूव य ईशे अस्य द्विपादश्चतुष्पादः कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम ॐ ये नद्योरुग्रा पृथिवी च दृढा येन स्वास्तभीतं येन नाकः यो अन्तरिक्षे रजसो विमानः कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम ॐ प्रजापते नत्वदेतान्यो विश्वा जातानि परिता बभूव यत्कामास्तेजो मस्तन्नो अस्तु वयं स्याम पतयोरयीनाम् ॐ स नो बन्धुर्जनिता सविधाता धामानि वेदभुवनानि विश्वा यत्र देवा अमृतमा न शानास्त्रितीये धामन्नध्यैरयन्त ॐ अग्नेन यसुपथा राये अस्मान् विश्वानि देववयोन निविद्वान् योयोध्यस्मज्जुहोरानमेनो भूयिष्ठां तेन उक्तिं विधेम इति ईश्वर स्तुति प्रार्थना उपासना प्रकरणम. Just brief Ishwar Stuti Prarthana Upasana Stuti, praising Ishwar God for the virtuous qualities. Gradually, slowly we'll be able to filter them in our life and become virtuous. Prarthana prayers always to be done after putting up 100% physical and mental efforts. Then Upasana is meditation, communion, realizing the inner self, Atma or the soul within us, and Paramatma, the supreme soul, the supreme consciousness. First mantra is praying to Ishwar God to grant us the guidance to remove all the ills and evils of our life and fill in all that is good and beneficial. Ishwar God continuously provides us the guidance is for us to clean up the mess of our lives, remove the ills and evils, and fill in the good things. Then the Vedas, generally understood mantras, are there only for swaha and prayers? No. The mantra itself is enlightening. It says, Vayam Syama Patayorainam, which says, we pray to Ishwar God to be masters of both material and spiritual treasures, which joins also the first mantra of Sandhya, where we say, Shanno Devi Rabhishtaya Apo Bhavantu Pitaye. Abhisht is be masters of worldly treasures, and Pitaye Piti is the eternal bliss, spiritual bliss of God. Then the last mantra also is very enlightening. Agni Nayas Pathara Yasman. Agni, the physical fire, physical energy, but also the light of knowledge. And the first place where we get the light of knowledge is the creation itself, the physical sciences. But then when we take birth, we have a mother and father and the elderlies, the knowledgeable around us, surrounding us, sharing the life experiences and life knowledge, giving us that extra mileage so that we don't start life from zero, especially when we're on the path of dharma, righteous living, artha, righteous earnings, kama, righteous enjoyment, and moksha, mukti, salvation. Now let's proceed with Ashman. Please take water in the right palm 3 times with 3 mantras. And when we say swaha, then sip the water, take sufficient water so that it goes down the throat and clears the throat. Om Vangamasyastu. Second time. Om Amritopastara Namase Swaha. Second time. Om Amrita Pidhanamase Swaha. Third time. Om Satyam Yasha Shirmai Shri Shayatam Swaha. Wash your palms and then take water in the left palm using the middle and ring finger of the right hand. You are going to touch various parts of the body, always at the end of the mantra. The prayer to Ishwar God is that, हे ईश्वर आप हमारे आत्मा और आत्मा मन बुद्धि चित्त आदि को प्रेरित करें कि जिन इंद्रियों को हम स्पर्श करने जा रहे हो हमारे सुपथ सन्मार्ग पर चलने के लिए हमारे सहायक बने. So that Ishwar inspires the soul and the soul drives the mind, the intellect, and the intellect driving all the body organs to righteous actions. Om Vangamasyastu. Om Nasormi Pranustu. Om Akshanormi Chakshurastu. Om Karniyormi Shrotramastu. Om Bahurmi Balamastu. Om Urvorma Ojustu. Om Arishtani Mengani Tanustanva Mesa Santo. Lighting of the fire, first lighting of the lamp at the end of this mantra. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha. Introducing the fire at the end of this mantra into the Havan Gun. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Dioriva Bhumna Prithiviva Varmna Tasyaste Prithivi Devayajani Prishthe Agni Mannada Mannadhyaya Dadhe. The next mantra is Agni Samindhan mantra. It says Udbudya Swagni, to get the fire blazing. And formerly when we were bringing the fire from the kitchen fire, we were fanning the fire. But now since we've lighted it, so we sprinkle 2 free spoonfuls of ghee on the fire. Om Udbudya Svagni Pratijagri Tvamishta Purte Sansrije Thamayancha Asmin Sadhaste Adyutarasmin Vishve Deva Yajamanascha Sidata. Samidhadan. The first Samidha, when we say Swaha with this mantra, then you offer. Om Ayanta Idmatma Jata Vedaste Nidya Svavardha Swachidda Vardaya Chasman Prajaya Pashuvir Brahma Varshase नाम्नाद्येन समेधय स्वाहा idam agnaye jatavedase idam namama. Second Samhita, we have two mantras here. On the second swaha, then offer Om Samidhagnim Duvasyata Griter Vordayata Tithim Asmin Havyajotana Swaha Idam Namama. Om Susamidhaya Shotishe Gritam Tivram Jotana Agnaye Jata Vedase Swaha Idam Agnaye Jata Vedase Idam Namama. Third Samhita with this mantra. Om Tantva Samidbhirangiro Gritena Vardhayamasi Priyachochaya Vishtaya Swaha Idam Agnengirase Idam Namama. Panchagrit Ahuti. Ghee only. Om Mayanta Idmatma Jata Vedaste Nidya Svardha Swachidda Vardaya Chasman Prajaya Pashuvir Brahmavarshase Dhamnadyena Samedhaya Swaha Idam Agnaye Jata Vedase Idam Namama. Om Ayanta Idmatma Jata Vedaste Nidya Svardha Swachidda Vardaya Tasman Prajaya Pashubir Brahmavarchase Namnadyena Samedhaya Swaha Idam Agnaye Jata Vedase Idam Namama. Om Ayanta Idmatma Jata Vedaste Nidya Svardha Swachidda Vardaya Tasman Prajaya Pashubir Brahmavarchase Namnadyena Samedhaya Swaha Idam Agnaye Jata Vedase Idam Namama. Om Ayanta Idmatma Jata Vedaste Nidya Svardha Swachidda Vardhaya Chasman Prajaya Pashubir Brahmavarchase Namnadyena Samedhaya Swaha Idam Agnaye Jata Vedase Idam Namama. Om Ayanta Idmatma Jata Vedaste Nidya Svardha Swachidda Vardaya Chasman Prajaya Pashubir Brahmavarchase Namnadyena Samedhaya Swaha Idam Agnaye Jata Vedase Idam Namama. Jal Sechanam. Sprinkling of water. First on the east side. Om Aditenu Manyasva. On the west. Om Anumatenu Manyasva. North. Om Saraswatyanu Manyasva. Around the Havan Kund, clockwise from northeast and finishing at the same point. Om Deva Savita Prasuvayajyam Prasuvayajyapatim Bhagaya Divyo Gandharvaha Ketapoke Tanna Punatu Vachaspatir Vachanna Swadatu. Agharavajya Ahuti. The first Ahuti in the north, second south, and then in the center. O north. Om Agnaye Swaha Idam Agnaye Idam Namama. Om Somaya Swaha Idam Somaya Idam Namama. Om Prajapataye Swaha Idam Prajapataye Idam Namama. Om Indraya Swaha Idam Indraya Idam Namama. Pratakalin and Sayankalin Ahuti, the mantras for the morning and the evening. Ghee and Samagri. Om Suryo Jyotir Jyoti Surya Swaha. Om Suryo Varcho Jyotir Varcha Swaha. Om Jyoti Surya Suryo Jyoti Swaha. Om Sajur Devena Savitra Sajurushasendra Vatya Dushana Suryuveto Swaha. Om Agnir Jyotiragni Swaha. Om Agnir Varcho Jyotirvarcha Swaha. Om Swaha. Om Sajurdevena Savitra Sajuratrendраvatya Dushano Agnirveto Swaha. Om Bhuragnaye Pranaya Swaha. Idam Agnaye Pranaya Idam Namama. Om Bhuvarvaive Panaya Swaha. Idam Vaive Panaya Idam Namama. Om Swaradityaya Vyanaya Swaha. Idam Adityaya Vyanaya Idam Namama. Om Bhurvasvaragnivaivaditebhya pranapanavyanabhya swaha. Idam agnivaivaditebhya pranapanavyanabhya idam namama. Om apo jyotirasomritam brahma bhurbhuva swarom swaha. Om yam medham devagana pitarashchopasate Tayama Madhyamedhayagni Medhavinam Kuru Swaha. Om Vishwani Deva Savitara Durtani Parasuva Yadbhadram Tanna Suva Swaha. Om Agnenaya Supatharaya Yasman Vishwani Deva Vayunani Vidwan Yuyodhyasmadjoranameno Puishtantena Moktim Vidhema Swaha. Om Bhurvuvasva Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Thiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Vishwani Deva Savitara Durtani Parasuva Yadbhadram Tanna Suva Swaha. Om, some special mantras. The first one, praying to Ishwar God that noble thoughts come to us from all sides. And we first and foremost will be spreading noble thoughts all around so that as echo the noble thoughts come to us multifold. Om Ano Bhadra Kratavo Yanto Vishwato Dabdhaso Paritaso Udbhida Devano Yatha Sadamidvride Asanna Prayuvo Rakshitaro Dive Dive Swaha. Pray for the enlightened mind. Om Sadasaspati Madbhutam Priyamindrasya Kamyam Sanim Medhamaya Sisham Swaha. Om Medham Me Varuno Dadatu Medham Agni Prajapati Medham Indrascha Vayushcha Medham Dhata Dadatu Me Swaha. Prayers for universal peace. Om Dhyau Shantirantariksham Shanti Prithvi Shantirapa Shantiroshadaya Shanti Vanaspataya Shantir Vishvedeva Shanti Brahma Shanti Sarvam Shanti Shantireva Shanti Sama Shantiredhi Swaha. Om Trite Drindhama Mitrasya Ma Chakshusha Sarvani Bhutani Samikshantam Mitrasyam Chakshusha Sarvani Bhutani Samikshe Mitrasya Chakshusha Samiksha Mahe Swaha. This mantra has a part which says Mitrasya Chakshusha Samiksha Mahe. Let's look at all living beings and non-living beings also as friends. So that will complement the mantra which we said, prayers for universal peace. When we look at living and non-living beings as friends, we'll always be respectful to them and they will give us peace in return. Prayers for good health and long, healthy life. Om Tat Chakshurdevahitam Purastat Chukramucharat Pashyema Sharada Shatam Jivema Sharada Shatam Shinuyama Sharada Shatam Pravama Sharada Shatamadina Syama Sharada Shatam Bhuyascha Sharada Shatatsva. This mantra says Chakshurdevahitam. Whatever we be saying, it's be hitam, that is for our own benefit and for the benefit of for the welfare of the whole world. Then it says, Pashyema Sharadaha Shatam, whatever we see be auspicious. Srinuyama Sharadaha Shatam, whatever we hear be auspicious. And our seeing, sight, and hearing faculties be functional for the whole of the life that we have, 100+ years. Jivema Sharada Shatam. So we pray also, by the grace of Ishwar God, we have good health, long and healthy life, as we say, 100 years and beyond. So for those celebrating special days during this week, or today, or during the forthcoming week, Om Upapriyam panipnatam yuvanamahuti vridam aganma bibrati namo dirdhamayu krinotu me sva. Om Indra Jiva Surya Jiva Deva Jiva Jivaya Sammam Sarvamayur Jivyasam Sva. Om Shatam Jiva Sharadav Vardhamana Shatan Hemantan Shatamo Vasantan Shatam Indragni Savita Vrihaspati Shatayusha Avishemam Punardo Swa. Om Bhurbhuvasva Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swa. Now 3 times Gayatri Mantra, 3 times Trayambakam Yajamahe Mantra. So anybody among you will be volunteer to lead in these 6 months, 3 times Gayatri Mantra and 3 times Mahamrityunjay Mantra. Please unmute yourself. Okay, Dhananjay ji has done it.
Om Bhurbhuvaha Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhurbhuvaha Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhurbhuvaha Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityurmukshyaamritat Swaha. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityurmukshyaamritat Swaha. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityurmukshyaamritat Swaha.
Continue with Sister Krita Ahuti of ghee and prasad. धनंजय जी, you may continue. शिष्ट कृता होती यदस्य कर्मणो.
You continue.
Okay. ॐ यस्य कर्मणोऽत्यरीरीचं यद्व्यान्योन्मिहाकरम् अग्नेष्टश्रेष्ठकृद्विद्यात् सर्वं स्वेष्टं सुहृतं करोतु मे अग्नये श्रेष्ठकृते सुहृतहोते सर्वप्रायश्चिताहुतीनां कामानां समर्देत्रे सर्वाणः कामान् समर्दय स्वाहा idam agnaye shrishtakate idam namama. Next ahuti of ghee only. Om swaha idam prajapataye idam namama. Purnahuti 3 times ghee and samagri. Om sarvam vai purnam swaha. Om sarvam vai purnam swaha. Om sarvam vai purnam swaha. Please put everything down, join the palms together, Mahavam Devyagan, praying to Ishwar God, free mantras from Samved. Hey Ishwar, हम सभी को सुख, शांति और समृद्धि प्रदान करे. O Ishwar God, grant all participating today and to the whole world sukh, happiness, shanti, peace, samriddhi, prosperity. Om Bhur Swaha. Om Bhur Swaha. Kaya nashitra bhuvadoti sada vrida sakha kaya shachishtaya vrita. Om Bhurvuvah Swaha. Om Bhurvuvah Swaha. Kastva Satyo Madanam Panghishto Matsadandasa Dridachidaro Jevaso. Om Bhurvuvah Swaha. Om Bhurvuvah Swaha. Abhishona Sakhinam Avita Charitranam Shatam Bhavasyotaye. Om Bhurvuvah Swaha. Om Bhurvuvah Swaha. Yajya Prarthana.
पूजनीय प्रभु हमारे भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए छोड़ने में छल कपट को मानसिक बल दीजिए वेद की बोले ऋचाएं सत्य को धारण करे हर्ष में हो मग्न सारे शोक सागर से तरे अश्वमेधाधिक रचाए यज्ञ पर उपकार को धर्म मर्यादा चलाकर लाभ दे संसार को नित्य श्रद्धा भक्ति से यज्ञादि हम करते रहे रोग पीड़ित विश्व के संताप सब हरते रहे भावना मिट जाए मन से पाप अत्याचार की कामनाएं पूर्ण होवे यज्ञ से नर नार की लाभकारी हो हवन हर जीवधारी लिए वायु जल सर्वत्र हो शुभ गंध को धारण किए स्वार्थ भाव मिटे हमारा प्रेम पद विस्तार हो इदं न मम का सार्थक प्रत्येक में व्यवहार हो प्रेम रस में मग्न होकर वंदना हम कर रहे नाथ करुणा रूप करुणा आपकी सब पर रहे पूजनीय प्रभु हमारे भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए छोड़ देने छल कपट को मानसिक बल दीजिए प्रभु आत्मिक बल दीजिए सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् सबका भला करो भगवान सब पर कृपा करो भगवान सब पर दया करो दयावान सबका सब विधि हो कल्याण हे ईश सब सुखी हो कोई न हो दुखारी सब हो निरोग भगवन धन धान्य के भंडारी तब भाद्र भाव देखे सन्मार्ग के पथिक हो दुखिया न कोई होवे सृष्टि में प्राणधारी हे नाथ सब सुखी हो कोई न हो दुखारी सब हो निरोग भगवन धन धान्य के भंडारी त्वमेव माताश्च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि.
Ashirvad. Blessings. Join the palms together. Remember, the grace of Ishvara is always flowing within us and all around us. Suffice we need to make ourselves the due receivers of that grace and not stand, as we say, like a colander or strainer below a tap. So let's pledge to become the due receivers of the grace of God. Om Satya Santo Yajamanasya Kama. Om Purna Santo Yajamanasya Kama. Om Safala Santo Yajamanasya Kama. Satya Santo Yajamanasya Kama. The desires, the wishes of the Yajaman be truthful Purna santu, the truthful desires, wishes of the Yajman be complete. And Safala santu, the truthful desires, wishes of the Yajman be complete with 100% success. Om Swasti na Indro Vridhashava Swasti na Pusha Vishvaveda Swasti na Saksharyo Arishtanemi Swasti no Brihaspatir Dadhatu Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shnuyama Deva Bhadram Pashye Makshavirya Jatra Sthirairangeishtoshtamang Sustanurvirvyashemahi देवहितं यदायु ॐ स्वस्ति 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 ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति. Namaste everybody. Gratitude to Ishwar God for having given us the day of today, the opportunity to sit down for Yajna, for the knowledge that been given to us through the creation and through the Vedas, through the rishis, through the gurus, and through our parents and other mentors in our life. So हे ईश्वर, इन सब के लिए आपको कोटिशः धन्यवाद. And to all those who in one way or the other have contributed directly or indirectly to the yajna of today. Thanks to all of them. Now time for bhajan. Volunteers, just please raise your hand, unmute yourself and proceed. Yes,
परमेश्वर के गुण गाने से खुशियों की दौलत मिलती है. मन से छल कपट मिटाने से खुशियों की दौलत मिलती है. दिन रात संवारा करते हो अपने बिगड़े कामों को. दिन रात संवारा करते हो अपने बिगड़े कामों को. औरों की बिगड़ी बनाने से खुशियों की दौलत मिलती है. औरों की बिगड़ी बनाने से खुशियों की दौलत मिलती है. खुशियों से हंस कर बोलते हो, दुखियों से भी बातें किया करो. खुशियों से हंस कर बोलते हो, दुखियों से भी बातें किया करो. दुखियों का दुख मिटाने को खुशियों की दौलत मिलती है. खुशियों की दौलत मिलती है. धन जोड़ जोड़ कर रखने से 100 चिंताएं लग जाती हैं. धन जोड़ जोड़ कर रखने से 100 चिंताएं लग जाती हैं. धन को शुभ अर्थ लगाने से खुशियों की दौलत मिलती है. खुशियों की दौलत मिलती है. दुर्जन की संगति करने से बल बुद्धिया यश और आयु घटे. दुर्जन की संगति करने से बल बुद्धि यश और आयु घटे। सत्संग में प्यारे जाने से खुशियों की दौलत मिलती है। खुशियों की दौलत मिलती है। परमेश्वर के गुण गाने से खुशियों की दौलत मिलती है। खुशियों की दौलत मिलती है। मन से छल कपट मिटाने से खुशियों की दौलत मिलती है। खुशियों की दौलत मिलती है। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Premji. Inspiring bhajan, which goes in line with what I said. We can't stand as a strainer or a colander to receive the grace of Ishvara. So it says the bhajan says we have to be compassionate, we have to be considerate to others, we have to give time to ourselves to grow on the path of spirituality. Then we'll become the due receivers of the grace of God. Khushiyon tabhi milte. Thank you, Ji. Next, please.
नमस्कार भगवान तुम्हें, नमस्कार भगवान तुम्हें, भक्तों का बारंबार हो। श्रद्धा रूपी भेंट हमारी मंगलमय स्वीकार हो। नमस्कार भगवान तुम्हें, भक्तों का बारंबार हो। श्रद्धा रूपी भेंट हमारी मंगलमय स्वीकार हो। तुम कन कन में रमे हुए हो, तुझ में जगत समाया है। तुम कन कन में रमे हुए हो, तुम में जगत समाया है। तिनका हो चाहे पर्वत हो, सभी तुम्हारी माया है। तुम दुनिया के हर प्राणी में जीवन का आधार हो। श्रद्धा रूपी भेंट हमारी मंगलमय स्वीकार हो। नमस्कार भगवान तुम्हें, भक्तों का बारंबार हो। श्रद्धा रूपी भेंट हमारी मंगलमय स्वीकार हो। सबके सच्चे पिता तुम्ही हो, तुम्ही जगत की माता हो। सबके सच्चे पिता तुम्ही हो, तुम्ही जगत की माता हो। भाई बंधु सखा तुम्ही हो, तुम ही रक्षक दाता हो। सृष्टि की रचना में तुम हो, सबके सृजनहार हो। श्रद्धा रूपी भेंट हमारी मंगलमय स्वीकार हो। नमस्कार भगवान तुम्हें, भक्तों का बारंबार हो। श्रद्धा रूपी भेंट हमारी मंगलमय स्वीकार हो। ऋषि मुनि योगी जन सब ही तुझसे ही वर पाते हैं। ऋषि मुनि योगी जन सब ही तुझसे ही वर पाते हैं। क्या राजा क्या रंग तुम्हारे, दर पर शीश झुकाते हैं। परम दयालु परम कृपालु, करुणा के आधार हो। श्रद्धा रूपी भेंट तुम्हारी, मंगल में स्वीकार हो। नमस्कार भगवान तुम्हें, भक्तों का बार हो। श्रद्धा रूपी भेंट हमारी, मंगल में स्वीकार हो। जीवन के संकट में प्रभु तुम ही एक सहारा हो। जीवन के संकट में प्रभु तुम ही एक सहारा हो। डगमग डोले जीवन नैया, तुम ही नाथ किनारा हो। तुम खेवट हो इस नैया के, और तुम ही पतवार हो। श्रद्धा रूपी भेंट हमारी, मंगल में स्वीकार हो। श्रद्धा रूपी भेंट हमारी, मंगल में स्वीकार हो। मंगल में स्वीकार हो। ओम शांति शांति।
One line from this bhajan, Shraddha Rupi Bhaint Hamari. So what is Shraddha? Shraddha means it's towards Satya Dharan. So we have to adopt truth, practice truth, and this is the best way of being the devotee of Ishwar God. Thank you, Shadi. Anybody else for bhajan, please? Okay, I'll take one of 4 lines. सब वेद पढ़ें सुविचार बढ़ें, बल पाय चढ़ें नित्य ऊपर को। सब वेद पढ़ें सुविचार बढ़ें, बल पाय चढ़ें नित्य ऊपर को। अविरुद्ध रहें रे जो पंथ गाएं, अविरुद्ध रहें रे जो पंथ गाएं। परिवार कहें वसुधा भर को, परिवार कहें वसुधा भर को। सब वेद पढ़ें सुविचार बढ़ें, बल पाय चढ़ें नित्य ऊपर को। ध्रुव धर्म धरें पर दुख हरें, ध्रुव धर्म धरें पर दुख हरें। तन त्याग तरें भव सागर को, तन त्याग तरें भव सागर को। सब वेद पढ़ें सुविचार बढ़ें, बल पाय चढ़ें नित्य ऊपर को। दिन फेर पिता वर दे सविता, दिन फेर पिता वर दे सविता। हम आर्य करें जगती भर को, हम आर्य करें जगती भर को। सब वेद पढ़ें सुविचार बढ़ें, बल पाय चढ़े नित्य ऊपर को, बल पाय चढ़े नित्य ऊपर को. Dhananjay ji, please, for the welcome.
Welcome everyone for our weekly services. Thank you for the beautiful bhajans, Premji and Ushaji. I want to recognize Dr. Deen Bandhu Chandoraji has joined us today, and welcome everyone for joining every week to our weekly services. Acharya is helping us since long time, more than a year, joining us every week for the satsang every Saturday morning 10:30 a.m. Just for the reminder, we have a kids program on Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern time, and on the weekly spiritual learning for the adults on Sunday 9 p.m. Acharya will lead us for today's talk.
Yeah. Om. Namaste, everybody. Let's bring our mind to focus. Sit down straight, close the eyes gently. Deep inhale and exhale. सर्वव्यापक सर्वज्ञ न्यायकारी दयालु ईश्वर का मुख्य निज नाम ओम का जाप करेंगे. The omnipresent, omniscient, all just and all merciful Ishvara, whose prime name is Om, will do the jap, chanting of Om. And while doing the chanting, just listen to our own pronunciation. Sense the vibrations, the sound waves, from where they originate. Usually the digestive region, the stomach, and it moves up the spinal cord to the brain. And when we finish with Ma, then we can feel the vibrations at the brain level. Om. Slowly, gently open the eyes and keep the focus. So one question generally, when we put to people, how are you? The usual answer is doing good. Whatever be the state of mind of the person, the usual formal reply is, I'm doing good, I'm good. So by just giving the usual formal reply, are we being truthful to ourselves? That's the main key query that we have to ask ourselves. When we are just giving the reply, all good, all fine, are we being truthful, let alone to the other person? Are we being truthful to ourselves? It's a question of when been developing the same habit. And those habits, unfortunately, in the long run, over a long period of time, makes the imprints or the sanskar in our life. we've been going with the flow, and that has created the impact on our lives. And if we tell ourselves we are followers of the Vedic Dharma, Satya Sanatan Vedic Dharma, the principles of righteous living as per the Vedas, then the first and foremost answer is, let's be truthful to ourselves. And as a guide, Maharshi Dayanand has written the Satyartha Prakash, which we commonly know in English as the light of truth. And he started writing that on the 12th of June, 1874. So next month, June, we'll be celebrating in one way, as we say, the Satyartha Prakash Jayanti. But before that, I would take another small book of Maharshi Dayanand Saraswati, this one. It says, Vyavahara Bhanu. It talks about behavioral response, how we behave in society. And this book is intended for kids, but I think it's evergreen in our life. It's meant mainly as a beginner of teaching, a starting point to teach the Vedic values to kids. But this book is as equal as a trove of treasure for everybody. Vyavahara Bhanu. Consists of about 50 pages. And I'll go briefly on the first part of it. In the Bhumika of the preface, Maharshi Dayanand says, मैंने परीक्षा करके निश्चय किया है कि जो धर्मयुक्त व्यवहार में ठीक ठीक वर्तता है उसको सर्वत्र सुख लाभ और जो विपरीत वर्तता है वह सदा दुखी होकर अपनी हानि कर लेता है. So he's talking from experience that as far as we are truthful in our life and behave on the path and tread on the path of dharma, then we'll be enjoying sukh, happiness, we'll be progressing in life. And if we do the reverse of that, the opposite of that, then we'll be unhappy. Then the second paragraph of the preface, he says, जब मनुष्य धार्मिक होता है तब उसका विश्वास और मान्य शत्रु भी करते हैं. अब जब अधर्मी होता है तो उसका विश्वास और मान्य मित्र भी नहीं करते. It's a very forceful message to us. Whenever we are truthful and we are firm on the path of truth, even those who don't like us will always respect us for being truthful in life. And when we fail on the path of truth, on the path of dharma, even friends, though in front of us, they may be, as we say, buttering us, but deep down in their hearts, they no longer respect us. And Maharshi Dayanand adds, इसलिए मैं मनुष्य को उत्तम शिक्षा के अर्थ सब वेद आदि शास्त्र और सत्याचार्य विद्वानों को रीति युक्त इस व्यवहार भानु ग्रंथ को बनाकर प्रकट करता हूं. So he says, इसलिए मैं मनुष्य को उत्तम शिक्षा के अर्थ. Generally, when we see the Vyavahar Bhanu, we think it's for kids. But Maharshi Dhanand is saying, सब मनुष्यों के लिए. इसलिए मैं मनुष्य को उत्तम शिक्षा, that is for the whole of the human species. And he's written it in simple Hindi. The language which is common among the people. And this is where we have to see, if we want to inculcate the Vedic values in our children and grandchildren, depending on the environment in which they are growing, we have to go down to this very language. And in another book of Maharshi Dayananda Saraswati, Updesh Manjari, somewhere Maharshi Dayananda Saraswati writes, वेद और 6 दर्शन की जो प्राचीन पुस्तकों को भिन्न भिन्न भाषाओं में अनुवाद करके लोगों को जिससे अनायास प्राचीन विद्याओं का ज्ञान प्राप्त हो सके, ऐसा, just give me 1 minute, ऐसा यत्न करना चाहिए और पढ़े लिखे विद्वान लोगों को सच्चे धर्म का उपदेश करने की तरफ विशेष ध्यान देना चाहिए. और गांव-गांव में आर्य समाज स्थापना करके तथा मूर्ति पूजा आदि अनाचारों को दूर करके ब्रह्मचर्य से तप का सामर्थ्य बढ़ाकर सब वर्णों और आश्रमों के लोगों को चाहिए कि शारीरिक और आत्मिक बल को बढ़ावें, तो सुगमता से शीघ्र लोगों की आंख खुल जाएंगे. And he adds, मेरे जैसे एक निर्बल मनुष्य के करने का यह काम कैसे हो सकता है? इसलिए आप सब बुद्धिमान लोगों से आशा रखता हूं कि आप मुझे इस शुभ कार्य में सहयोग देंगे. Look at the humility, as we say, the great personality of Maharshi Dayananda Saraswati. It says we have to become scholars, irrespective of to which, whatever be our profession, whether be the educators or people in the security forces or people doing business or laymen. Let's learn and adhere to the principles of righteous living. And he says we have to deal in the language of the people according to the circumstances. And he says we need more and more people who are learned in the principles of the Vedic philosophy to disseminate that and to show to people what is real puja, what is real bhakti. As we saw in the bhajan, Shraddha Rupi Bhainte. So we be truthful. That is the best way to be a Ishwar Bhakta, a devotee of Ishwar God. And the Vyavahar Bhanu, it starts with, the first chapter is Panditon ke Lakshan. And just after that, it's Murkhon ke Lakshan. So it gives first the characteristics of the knowledgeable, educated person, Pandit. And the second, he gives murkhon, that is, those who have low intellect or know very little, or even those who knowingly but purposely go on the wrong track. And he takes one shlok from the Mahabharata, Vidura Jagara. Atmajnanam samarambha titiksha dharma nityata dharmatha mapakarshati savai pandita lakshanam. जिसको परमात्मा और जीवात्मा का यथार्थ ज्ञान, जो आलस्य को छोड़ सदा उद्योगों, सुख दुख आदि का सहन, धर्म का नित्य सेवन करने वाला, जिसको कोई पदार्थ धर्म से छुड़ा अधर्म की ओर न खींच सके, वह पंडित कहता है. So the one who knows Paramatma and Jivatma, he knows, as we say, the principles of the Trinity. He knows the characteristics, actions, nature of God, Ishvara, of Atma, the soul, and Prakriti, matter. As we say in the Atharva Ved, Ye Trishapta Pariyanti. Then the one who is never negligent and lazy, the one who is always putting up the efforts, be progressive in life. And then the one who is doing tapasya, enduring, be level-headed in times of happiness and in times of sorrow. Dharma ka nitya sevan karne wala, always treading on the path of dharma. जिसको कोई पदार्थ धर्म से छुड़ा अधर्म की ओर न खींच सके. That is a strong statement. No amount of any type of, as we say, duress or unlawful enticing of the person to go against dharma, like bribery, corruption, favoritism, etc., which are against the principles of dharma. No amount of these can corrupt the mind of that person. He is called a pandit, that is a learned scholar.
Looks like Acharya has disconnected. Probably he will join back again.
Okay, it has come back. Thank you. So it says, Nishevate prashastani ninditani asevate anastika shraddhadana dhana etat pandita uchyate. जो सदा प्रशस्त धर्मयुक्त कर्मों को करने और निंदित अधर्मयुक्त कर्मों को कभी न सेवने हारा, न कदापि ईश्वर वेद और धर्म का विरोधी और परमात्मा सत्य विद्या और धर्म में धीर विश्वासी है, वह मनुष्य पंडित के लक्षण युक्त होता है. So the one who is adamant, stick to dharma in whatever be the circumstances. Dharma, righteous thoughts, righteous words, and righteous actions. Then nindit adharma yukt karmo ko kabhi na sevane hare. Never have recourse to wrongdoings. Then na kadapi Ishwar Ved or Dharma ka virodhi. Never go against the principles or the guidance, the teachings of Ishwar God. The Vedas, the laws of nature, the laws of the creation, and Dharma, the divine inner voice, the guidance within us. Then ever be trusting Ishwar God for the guidance that He's giving us. Then ever live life according to the teachings of the Vedas, the universal values. This person, such a person, is called a Pandit, a scholar. The next shlok, again from the same chapter, Shipram Vijyanati Chiram Shrinoti Vidyaya Chartham Bhajate Nakamat Nasan Prishto Vyupangte Pararthe Tat Prajanam Prathamam Panditasya. जो वेद आदि शास्त्र और दूसरे के कहे अभिप्राय को शीघ्र ही जानने, दीर्घ काल पर्यंत वेदादि शास्त्र और धार्मिक विद्वानों के वचनों को ध्यान देकर सुनकर ठीक ठीक समझ निरभिमानी शांत होकर काम क्रोध लोभ मोह भय शोक आदि दुष्ट गुणों से पृथक वर्तमान दोनों के संवाद में बिना प्रसंग के अयुक्त भाषण आदि व्यवहार न करने वाला मनुष्य है. यही पंडित के बुद्धिमता का प्रथम लक्षण है. So the first quality which we'll recognize, Ved Adi Shastron. So we are always listening to the teachings of the Vedas, discourses on the Vedas. We are spending time वेद आदि शास्त्रों धार्मिक विद्वानों के वचनों देख कर सुनकर ठीक ठीक समझ. That is, we listen, we read what he has written in the principles of the Arya Samaj. वेद का पढ़ना पढ़ाना सुनना सुनाना. Read and have it read by others. Teach it to others and learn from others on the Vedas. Sunna sunana, listen to and lead others to listen to. Then nir abhimani, never be arrogant. And this is one characteristic which we notice. थोड़ा सा भी ज्ञान व्यक्ति को आ जाता है ना, तो वो आसमान पे चलता रहता है, पैर जमीन पे नहीं रहता है. We've noticed that. Unfortunately, it's like this. For people who have got some knowledge, their feet are no longer on the ground. And this is the path to downfall. Maharishi Dayananda warns with this shlok. शांत होकर काम क्रोध लोभ मोह भय शोक आदि दुष्ट गुणों से पृथक. So let's be calm headed, serene. Then stay away from immoderation in life. Stay away from anger, from greed, from inordinate undue attachment, from fear, and from grief and other vices. Then whenever we have discussions, sanvad, whenever we are engaged in discussions, never raise things which are out of subject. Bina prasang ke ayuk bhashanadi. Always keep to the subject, and questions are to be put as a seeker of knowledge, not as someone who is challenging the knowledge of the speaker. Then it says, somebody who complies to these, who is never self-boasting, who has proper self-control, self-restraint. This is the first virtue of the Pandit. Then he goes, Na prapya mabhivanchanti nashtam ninchanti shochitum आपसूचना मुह्यंती नरा पंडित बुद्धया. जो मनुष्य प्राप्त होने के अयोग्य पदार्थों की कभी इच्छा नहीं करते, अदृष्ट व किसी पदार्थ के नष्ट भ्रष्ट हो जाने पर शोक करने की अभिलाषा नहीं करते, बड़े बड़े दुखों से युक्त व्यवहारों की प्राप्ति में भी मूढ़ होकर नहीं घबराते, वे मनुष्य पंडितों की बुद्धि से युक्त कहते हैं. So the one who doesn't desire things that cannot be achieved in life. So if we remember, in management, one thing is taught: our goal should be masked, measurable, achievable, specific, and time-bound. This is the teaching there. Whatever be our desires, it should be achievable. Don't take desires like we say, as Akash ke phool. This doesn't exist. Though it's grammatically correct, but it doesn't exist. Bandh ka putra. For the woman who cannot have a child and we say she has a child, though it is correct, but that is not the real life. So things like that we should never pursue because it's never achievable. Then adrisht va kisi padarth ke nasht brasht ho jane par, whatever be the circumstances, we may suffer loss by destruction of the things that we love or the persons that we love or we like. Then let's stay cool, let's stay calm. Because grieving for that will only increase our pains. We should understand things in this world are all changeable in characteristics and changeable also, because once we've created, it has a life cycle, and ultimately at the end of the life cycle, it will destroy. So when we are never disturbed by these adverse situations, then we become Pandit. The next slok says, Pravrita Vakachitra Katha Uhavan Pratibhanavan Asho Grantasya Vakta Chaya Sapandita Uchyate. जिसके वाणी सब विद्याओं में चलने वाली अत्यंत अद्भुत विद्याओं की कथाओं को करने, बिना जाने पदार्थों का तर्क से शीघ्र जानने, सुनी विचारी विद्याओं को सदा उपस्थित रखने, और जो सब विद्याओं को ग्रंथ को अन्य मनुष्यों को शीघ्र पढ़ाने वाले मनुष्य है, वही पंडित कहलाता है. So it says, the one who masters any subject very quickly, and he can also bring that knowledge forth to explain to others. and also easily teach those difficult subjects to others, make others understand that quickly. This is the Pandit. Then Shrutram Prajanugam Yasya Praja Chaiva Shrutanuga Asanbhinna Maryadaha Panditakyam Labhate Saha. जिसकी सुनी हुई पठित विद्या अपनी बुद्धि के सदा अनुकूल और बुद्धि और क्रिया सुनी पढ़ी हुई विद्याओं के अनुसार जो धार्मिक श्रेष्ठ पुरुषों की मर्यादा का रक्षक और दुष्ट डाकुओं की रीति को विदीर्ण करने हारा मनुष्य है, वही पंडित नाम धराने के योग्य होता है. So it says, the one who is practical in his knowledge, for whatever he's learnt, either by study or by listening to others, buddhi or kriya, that is, use his knowledge, use that information, convert that to intelligence, to wisdom, act accordingly, and always be in the company of saintly people, dharmik shreshta purushon ki maryada. And then stand for dharma and stand against adharma. That is the Pandit. And in the course of that, something comes to my mind. For whatever we earn in life, we face 4 problems. One is the arjan dosh. We have to put up the efforts, the painstaking efforts to realize and to earn a living. Then there's the rakshan dosh, material belongings. We have to spend time to safeguard that. We need to build a proper house, and with a proper house, we have to fit the proper alarm systems, and today with the CCTV cameras and everything. Yet, when we are out of the house, we always have a worry at the back of the mind, lest something wrong happens. So that is Rakshan Dosh. Then there's Vriddhi Dosh. We are never satisfied with whatever we've acquired. We want more and more and more. So then we have to spend more and more energy, more and more resources to earn more. Then there's Kshay Dosh. Probably it may be taken by somebody else, or just tax authorities come to us, put some other claims, or at the end of this life cycle, we have to leave everything here itself. Nothing goes with us. But let's take knowledge. For whatever painstaking efforts we've done to acquire knowledge, the more we share, the more our knowledge increases. So we don't have the problem of Rakshan Dosh when we are sharing. Because Purnamada Purnamedam Purnatam Buddhutyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. This is the only thing from which we can take 100%, give it to somebody else, and we are remained with 100%. Knowledge, wisdom, intelligence. Then Vriddhi Dosh also is not there. Because for our whatever efforts we'll put, whether it's formal studies, we'll get a new degree, a higher degree, or in life, we become a better person. So the more resources we apply, the more efforts we apply to that, we'll become a much better person in terms of the Vedas, Manurbhava Daivyam Janam. We'll come closer and closer to become human in thoughts, in words, and in actions. Then there's no Kshay Dosh, because at the end of this life cycle, for whatever good we've achieved, as per the laws of karma, we are going to get a higher, a better birth in the next life, or even cross the cycle of birth and death and go into moksha. Mrityorma amritam gamaya. So that's really a very small booklet of Swami Dayananda Saraswati Vyavahar Bhanu, which I read quite often, and it always gives new knowledge, new inspiring thoughts, just as when we read the Satyat Prakash. Next month, June, generally here in Mauritius, within the Arya Samaj movement, we celebrate that as the Satyat Prakash Mass. I'll try to stick to the subject of the Arya Samaj, Satyat Prakash. And we'll also be celebrating the International Yoga Day. So in that context also, we'll be talking Yoga Devas, especially Maharishi Dayananda also has taken the subject of yoga in both the Satyat Prakash and Rigvedadi Bhashya Bhumika. So I've given you a hint on that. So for those who are used to bhajan, you can look for the appropriate bhajans on these subjects. Or if you want to give your input by a short speech, by a short talk, I would invite you to just get ready and just give us the hint that you want to present something, probably for 5 minutes. We'll give you the opportunity to share your knowledge, because knowledge shared is knowledge increased. Thank you for your attention. I'll leave it to Dhananjay ji for onwards. Namaste ji. Om.
Thank you, Acharya ji, for your continued effort to teach us about the Vedas and other scriptures of Sanatana Vedic Dharma. Now we'll proceed with the Aarti.
Om Jai Jagdish Hare, Swami Jai Jagdish Hare, भक्त जनों के संकट, दास जनों के संकट, क्षण में दूर करे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। जो ध्यावे फल पावे, दुख बिन से मन का, स्वामी दुख बिन से मन का, सुख संपत्ति घर आवे, सुख संपत्ति घर आवे, कष्ट मिटे तन का। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। मात पिता तुम मेरे, शरण गहूँ मैं किसकी, स्वामी शरण गहूँ मैं किसकी, तुम बिन और न दूजा, प्रभु बिन और न दूजा, आस करूं मैं जिसकी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम पूर्ण परमात्मा, तुम अंतर्यामी, स्वामी तुम अंतर्यामी, पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर, पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर, तुम सबके स्वामी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम करुणा के सागर, तुम पालन करता, स्वामी तुम पालन करता। मैं मूरख फलगामी, मैं मूरख फलगामी, कृपा करो भरता। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम हो एक अगोचर, सबके प्राणपति, स्वामी सबके प्राणपति। किसी विधि मिलूं दया में, किसी विधि मिलूं दया में, तुमको मैं कुमति। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। दीन बंधु दुख हरता, तुम ठाकुर मेरे, स्वामी तुम ठाकुर मेरे, अपने हाथ उठाओ, अपने हाथ उठाओ, द्वार पड़ा मैं तेरे, ओम जय जगदीश हरे। विषय विकार मिटाओ, पाप हरो देवा, स्वामी पाप हरो देवा। श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ, श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ, संतन की सेवा, ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तन मन धन सब कुछ है तेरा, प्रभु सब कुछ है तेरा, तेरा तुझको अर्पण, तेरा तुझको अर्पण, क्या लागे मेरा, ओम जय जगदीश हरे। स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे। भक्त जनों के संकट, दास जनों के संकट, क्षण में दूर करे, ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
शांति पाठ। ओम द्यौ शांतिरन्तरिक्षं शांतिः, पृथिवी शान्तिरापः शान्तिरोषधयः शान्तिः, वनस्पतयः शान्तिर्विश्वे देवा शान्तिर्ब्रह्मा शांति सर्वं शांतिः, शान्तिरेव शान्तिः, सामा शान्तिरेधि। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। O God, by your grace, may the celestial planets be peaceful, the space be peaceful, the earth be peaceful, the waters be peaceful, the seasonal crops and vegetational plants be peaceful, the perennial plants and vegetation be peaceful, the learned and elderly be conducive to peace and prosperity. May the Supreme Creator, reliever of pains and afflictions, bring us peace. May the universe be peaceful, may peace be peaceful, may that peace be with us. May there be cosmic peace, physical peace, and spiritual peace. May we be free from adhyatmic, adibhautic, and adibhautic dukh. Om Annapate Annasya no dehanami vasya shushmirah prapradatam tarishurjam no dehi dvipade chatushpade. हे अन्न के स्वामी प्रभु, आप हमें अन्न दो जो रोग रहित और पुष्टिकारक हो। आप अन्नदाता का कल्याण करिए, दो पाए मनुष्यों और चौपाए पशुओं आदि में तेज धारण करिए। O अन्नदाता ईश्वर, giver of food, kindly provide us with healthy and energy producing food. Grant serenity to those who give food in charity. May all living beings be blessed with energy giving food. जो बोले सो अभय।
वैदिक धर्म की जय।
मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम श्री रामचंद्र जी की
जय।
योगेश्वर श्री कृष्ण महाराज की
जय।
गुरुवर स्वामी बिरजानंद जी की
जय।
महर्षि स्वामी दयानंद सरस्वती की
जय।
संसार के सभी श्रेष्ठ महापुरुषों की
जय।
संसार की सभी विदुषी देवियों की
जय।
आज के यजमान की
जय।
आर्य समाज
अमर रहे।
वेद की ज्योति
जलती रहे।
वैदिक ध्वनि
ओम।
वैदिक
वैदिक
अभिवादन सभी को
सभी
नमस्ते।
सादर नमस्ते जी।
If anybody has to share some thoughts, something with us, please unmute and they can share their thoughts. Dr. Saab, so just for the reminder, this weekly services every Saturday morning at 10:30 to noon, and Friday for the kids and young youth 9 p.m. Eastern time, Sanatan Dharma Simplified, and Sunday the program for the adults 9 p.m. Eastern time. Hope you to join soon again.